I watched the Genius documentary and it seemed like Coodie was there from the beginning as well with all the filming that he did. Was that before? Was that after you? Or did you know Kanye before Coodie or got all that footage?
Yeah, so Coodie met Kanye through me, and Coodie was my man, still is my man, and I introduced them in the late '90s, and he's been rocking with us ever since. So I was kind of like maybe like the first one in the group there. So Don C, Virgil, Ibn, Coodie, all those guys, met Ye through me. Those were my friends essentially. I actually used to do marketing for Coodie's public access show, which was like hugely popular in the city in the late '90s. It was called Channel Zero, and there's a couple like things online with like Coodie interviewing Kanye and a bunch of celebrities and stuff that were coming through Chicago in the '90s, and I would always like just help Coodie and Danny promote the shows, and I had a bunch of concerts and stuff, so I would always try to just give them access to the talent so that they could get content. But yeah, those are all my guys.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you just named some powerful, like they shook the culture, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Don C, Virgil, like you introduced Virgil to Kanye, which is
so Virgil was kind of my intern. I met him at through another one of my mentors, Jay Boogie. He had a design studio. Boogie introduced us, and I saw some of his work, and I really liked the work that he was doing, which led to me hiring him as a designer for this group named Sarah, from LA actually, that I signed to Good Music, and Virgil was doing some design work for, it was like a mixtape cover or something I was doing with Sarah. And then directly after that, he started just coming over my house after school and after work every day, and just kind of like interning for me, but interning for me personally in my company, Hustle. It wasn't for Good Music or Ye. I was just trying to get to know him, understand his temperament and his style, his attitude, and then get like a full grasp of his skill set to make sure that it was what I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? So after about 4 months, I was like, man, bro, like, you're fucking ready. Like, you're insane. Like, I gotta take you to the crew. So I introduced him to Ibn, who they ended up, they were roommates for a while and became great friends. And Ibn did like some shoe stuff with him. I want to say Ibn's Converse shoe came through Virgil. He did like Ivan collab with Converse, and then I introduced him to Don. They opened a boutique and a brand together called RSVP, which is still popular and popping. They're about to open a new boutique in Chicago within the next coming months, from what I understand. And then I introduced him to Kanye, who he became like a designer, illustrator kind of person at first, and then that went from there to like him being an assistant, then right hand, then collaborator, and then Virgil became the most important designer of our time. So I'm not really a fashion guy, not really the flyest in the room, never claimed to be, but I got a pretty good eye. I'll put it that way.
Well, talent.
I know talent for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that is just, mind blowing.
Yeah.
Now, how did he get the job with Louis Vuitton? Like, how did that, because he was working with Kanye.
To be honest, bro, at the time of that whole thing, I wasn't really around. There was I quit working for Kanye in 2008, and I didn't go back to work. I was gone for 10 years. we didn't work together until 2018. I did something with him in 11 where I took an artist named King Louis that he liked, that was signed to me, that I got signed to Sony. I took him to Paris and he put him on the Yeezus album. And we were supposed to work together again officially after that, but it never happened. So I really wasn't around him and Virgil for a really long time. And I don't know, you know.
So you wasn't around in that infamous picture when what's his name had like the cheetah pants and
No, but funny. So what's the name who you're referring to is Taz. So
Taz.
I signed Taz to Good Music. I introduced Taz to Kanye.
He was on Sarah.
He was in Sarah. So I signed Sarah. So me and Dom joke all the time that if you look at the picture, more than half of the people in the picture came from me. Like Ivan was my barber, Don's my cousin, Kanye, I managed him first, Virgil was my intern, and I signed Taz. Now, I had nothing to do with Bentley or Chris Julian, but everybody else came from me.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So now, you said you didn't work with Kanye for 10 years.
Yeah, from 2008 to 2018.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, like, how did that come about? It's like
financial dispute. I'd rather not get into, but I just didn't like how some things were happening and decided to move around.
Yeah. Now, was Hustle already in existence?
Yeah, so we started Hustle in 1998.
Okay. So you pretty much started it hand in hand as soon as you got into the
Hustle period, by the way.
Hustle period. Hustle period. So now you leave Kanye. Does it feel like you're blackballed? Like you maintain relationships. Everybody mess with you, and I kind of feel like everybody kind of felt like they didn't know if you were when you were kind of going to get back together. So no one really picked sides. I can feel, you know.
Yeah.
But how did it feel? Because that was like at the top of Kanye.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
So what was going on in like your mind? You know, like how did you feel? You know, like did you feel you was like blackballed, or you feel like there was a weird time, or you didn't think nothing of it?
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, to be honest, like I felt like I was just a little isolated, and I was watching all these people that, you know, I kind of helped put on, you know, flourish and be successful, and you know, I was going through it. You know what I mean? I couldn't get a lot of opportunities because there was all these things being said, and there were people that were, I'm not gonna say he was, I don't think it was him, but there were people that had just been jealous of me being kind of like the number one guy for so long from my city. They wanted to see me fall. So yeah, it was tough. So it was hard to get work and opportunities, and you know, it was really frustrating for a while because, you know, I'm literally watching, you know, 6-7 people that I put on get money and do well and flourish, and nobody offered me a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but okay, you know, but it's all good. I mean, it taught me to be resilient and to dust myself up and get off and get back on. And you know, I was definitely on some, like, for a short moment, a little self-pity. Like, oh man, these dudes, blah, 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 put this dude on, that dude on, I made these guys all this money, gave them their diddy bop, and they didn't even offer me a meal, you know what I mean? I'm out here, you know, fucked up, blah, blah, blah. But I got over it quick and just started grinding all over again, you know what I mean? And, you know, went from, you know, damn near homeless to a multi-million-dollar home. You know what I mean? So,
we're in a multi-million-dollar home.
A $3 million home.
Exactly. So now, what was the first play that like you felt like gave you like your optimism back? Like after that, because you know you did some multiple historical things in between you dropping from leaving Kanye and then coming back. You know, you've done some multiple things. I'm seeing a plaque right behind you.
I think the first thing after Ye was Busta Rhymes, A-Rap Money. I was a part of that whole project. I A&R'd that album and I was on his management team.
I remember that.
And I was making, starting to kind of get back on my feet, starting to get respect again. You know how it is when you get a hit record and you're with somebody that's completely detached. I mean, not associated with your core. It's like an automatic level of respect. You know what I'm saying? So, it's one thing to be the man in Chicago since '89 and then discover the hottest thing in Chicago ever and then control your hometown, but then to fall out with all that, right? And disconnect from all that, be in New York, get back on with a new job, and then come back with another hit from a New York rapper that has nothing to do with Kanye and nothing to do with good music and nothing to do with any of those people, and to find myself back around a lot of those same people in those same circles with a completely different and separate circumstance. That was one of those things that was like, okay, you were meant to do this. It wasn't a fluke. Get your confidence back up. You are a winner. You're winning now again. Keep moving forward. And that's what I did. I worked with Busta for a while. We got a hit. We went on the road. Did a lot of great things together. Started working with Missy again because I had some history with Missy Elliott, whereas we did a project for Monica, that project up there, and I gave her the 3 records that became the singles on that project, and they all were hits. And one of them went on to be a top 5 hit. And